وزير العدل السابق، فليتفضل.
Thank you very much, Nazar, and thank you, Commander Amon, for your interventions and remarks. And I would like also to thank all the journalists who have taken the time to come and participate in this press conference. I would like to also thank the government of Kenya and the people of Kenya for hosting us today. This is not the first time that the Kenyan government and the Kenyan people stood for peace in Sudan. And it was the Republic of Kenya that hosted. The Kenyan government is also supporting us to find a way towards peace, social justice, and democracy. The main question that everybody has in mind is, why are we founding this alliance? We are founding this alliance because there are about 20 to 25 million people in the areas that are controlled by the military organizations that are part of this charter and part of this initiative that need help and need support. These are the most vulnerable people in Sudan who have no option but to stay inside Sudan, either because they don't have the ability to leave or because they don't have the intention to leave. The de facto authorities in Port Sudan are imposing conditions of life that are discriminatory and that aim to force them to leave the country. We have a moral obligation to do something to help them and to enable them to live in dignity and just to have the life that everybody has in the other parts of Sudan. We are doing this because we know that there is no other person that can do it. And we have come together here in Kenya to establish this alliance and to form a government because there is a need for it. There is a necessity to establish this government. We are doing this also because we know that there are millions of children, millions of women and men who need health care, who need documents that the de facto authorities in Port Sudan are actually preventing them from obtaining. We are doing this because our history teaches us that wars in Sudan continue for a long time, between 10 to 25 years. And if we don't do anything, the millions of people who are currently in Sudan will not have any opportunity to get an education, and they will not have any opportunity to get health care. And we need to do this because there are many people who are calling on us to do it, not only in Sudan, but also Sudanese who live outside Sudan. This is the first point that I would like to highlight. The second point that I would like to highlight is that this is probably the largest alliance, the largest Sudanese alliance. It brings together many political organizations, many armed groups, and these are the groups that are united by one objective: creating a new Sudan that is based on the principles that my friend here highlighted a few minutes ago. The Constitution that was ratified yesterday or signed yesterday by many political organizations and armed groups, in fact, reflects the principles that we actually agreed on and enshrined in the charter, the political charter that was signed a couple of days ago. I would like to highlight the main characteristics or provisions of this constitution. Number one, comprehensive Bill of Rights that we have ever seen in the history of Sudan. And for our Kenyan brothers here, this Bill of Rights is actually, to a large extent, based on your 2010 Bill of Rights. I was fortunate enough, I was fortunate enough to live here from 2009 to 2010 as a consultant for the Open Society Initiative for Eastern Africa, and I witnessed some parts of the discussions and deliberations that were conducted here to approve the Constitution. And the Constitution actually contained this Bill of Rights, from which we have learned and taken some important provisions. The Constitution mentions for the first time mechanisms for protecting human rights as part of the Bill of Rights. It speaks about the judiciary and other state institutions to protect human rights. And this is something that has not actually happened throughout the history of Sudan. The Constitution also establishes a two-chamber legislative body. It is also something that we have not witnessed recently. It speaks about a House of Representatives and a House of Regents. The House of Representatives will have 177 members, and the House of Regents will consist of 24 members, 3 members from each region. The Constitution establishes 8 regions in Sudan, so 3 members will represent each region in the House of Regents. The Constitution also establishes a presidential council of 15 members. 8 of them will be the governors of the 8 regions. They will ex officio be members of the presidential council, and they will also ex officio be the deputies of the head of the presidential council. The alliance, the Sudan Founding Alliance, will select and appoint 7 members, so the total number will be 15 members. And finally, the Constitution also reflects an important provision of the political charter, which is the establishment of a new military institution in Sudan, a new police institution or apparatus in Sudan, and also a new intelligence and security service in Sudan. The existing institutions in Sudan are hijacked by the Islamic movement and the National Congress Party. We all know that they do not reflect the will of the vast majority of the Sudanese people. We need institutions, military or security institutions, that are democratic, that are apolitical, and that reflect the diversity of the Sudanese people. The Constitution, finally, speaks about a foreign policy that presents Sudan as a pluralistic and diverse country. Sudan has a lot of diversity. We have Arab populations, we have African populations, we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have people who follow African religions and belief systems. But since 1955, Sudan has been presented to the world as an Arab Islamic state. We want to correct that, and our constitution is the first step towards. And our constitution is the first step towards correcting that false picture or image of Sudan. And I think I will just stop here, and I look forward to having a fruitful discussion in the next few minutes.
شكرا جزيلا سعادة الدكتور نصر الدين عبد الباري الذي تحدث حول ملامح الدستور الذي تم توقيعه بالأمس. أيضا طرف الدكتور نصر الدين عبد الباري على الوضع الإنساني في السودان، والذي يحتاج إلى يعني شعبنا في السودان يحتاج إلى المساعدات الإنسانية العاجلة. نقدم الآن في هذه اللحظات الدكتور عبد الرحمن صالح القيادي لحزب الأمة، رئيس حزب الأمة بوسط وشرق أفريقيا والي ولاية غرب كردفان السابق، فليتفضل.
أكون في هذا المؤتمر الصحفي بتحالف السودان التأسيسي. طبعا هذا المؤتمر وهذا التحالف هو تحالف عظيم. منذ 1955 لم يكن هنالك تحالف بهذا الحجم الذي ضم بجانب الأحزاب السياسية الكبيرة التي هنالك ضم هو الكفاح المسلح، منظمات المجتمع المدني، وضم بعض الشخصيات القومية، ولذلك نحن تداعينا معنا الشعب السوداني من كل حدب وصوب